What's up, Flummadiddlers? I'm Keith.
And I'm Jon.
And this is Flummadiddle. Your somewhat reliable source of information for?
Most things, Keith. Most things. We're not 100%. We're hitting about like food for the poor. We're going to talk about 96% on our...
Why don't we just go ahead and tell them, Jon? What does that mean? Your
Right,
somewhat reliable source of information for most things. We say that a lot. What does it mean?
Well, what it means is this. It means we love to learn. We love knowledge. We love information. So we kind of gather and conglomerate and bring you the information on the topics that we talk about. But we're not going to spend like 50,000 years fact-checking everything. We're certainly not going to purposely mislead anyone, but we encourage you, whether it's our podcast, whether it's the media, whatever it is, do your own fact-checking, check it out, whatever. But we try to bring this information to you in a fun, informative, educational, and somewhat hilarious way, Keith.
Absolutely. We only have so much time on our hands.
That's it.
So we try to be as factually accurate as possible with the resources and the time that we have. So
Absolutely.
This week we talked about feeding the hungry, right? It built upon logistics. We
Correct.
talked about logistics last time, and we mentioned that you can use logistics for good things, right? And so we talked about that this week. So what's some ways, Jon, that you can use logistics to feed hungry?
Well, here's the deal, Keith. All logistics chains are more or less efficient. If it's not efficient for Amazon, guess what? Your package takes 4 days versus 2 days.
Right.
But if it's not efficient in terms of food delivery services, specifically humanitarian food delivery, then the food can spoil, the food can rot. Literally tons of food can spoil before it ever gets to the people to provide them the nutrition they need, Keith. You know, we talked about that the problem today is not that we don't have enough food, because we got plenty of food.
Right.
It's just a matter of logistically getting it to where it can benefit the people it needs to benefit.
Yeah, scarcity is not the problem. There's plenty of food for everyone to eat in the entire world. It's actually distribution is the problem.
Right.
So we talked about in the podcast how you can use logistics to solve some of these problems. And we challenged rich people as well as just your average Joe on how to do that.
So step it up, man.
Yeah, step it up. And next week we're going to talk about...
the venerable, the historic...
handy dandy.
Keep it going, Keith. Keep it going.
Handy dandy.
Let's see it. Is it here? Is it here?
Pocket notebook. I got one in my pocket.
Man.
The pocket notebook.
Pocket notebook. This, by the way,
that was a gift.
is made by Clairefontaine.
Yeah.
Which is one of the greatest paper makers in the world. It's a French paper maker. It's been around for a long time. I love pocket notebooks.
So Jon gave this to me for my birthday, and I kind of geeked out on it. I was like, I don't know why I need a pocket notebook. I got a phone that's got a notepad in it.
Right.
But I figured out very quickly why it actually is better than using the notepad on your phone. And we're going to talk about that. Plus, we'll talk about how I organize mine and how other people throughout history have organized theirs, what they did with it,
Right.
and how it can improve your life. So
it can either maybe benefit your efficiency, benefit your creativity, lots of things. So we'll talk about that more. And, Keith, let us not forget, as we pay a moment of silence, to Edward Lojovic, I think was his middle name.
Van
Halen, but we know him as Eddie Van Halen. So you've got one of our new little music documentaries that we've been doing on every episode coming up too. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, and how to feed the hungry.
How to feed the hungry.
So I got a solution, Jon. It's something my brother told me, the great Jim Clay, when I was a kid. And it's always stuck with me. I know how to solve the homeless and the hungry.
All right, let's do it.
Feed the homeless to the hungry. Both problems are solved. That's it. You're done. Right? People tend to frown
there
upon
you
that,
go.
though, so.
No, that people
But
frown
we
on that.
came up with a lot better
But if they know
solutions.
Jim, they would appreciate that and see it as the humor that it is.
Yeah. Anyway, we hope you enjoy the podcast about feeding the hungry. We hope it inspires you to try to do more with the resources that God has blessed you with, right?
Exactly.
Peace out.
Konnichiwa.